to have the ability to choose is what, to me, yoga is all about. Because otherwise my mind tends to choose for me. And what that means is my habits of yesterday are overpowering my better intents for today. Making sense? Because that's how the mind works. It's a cyclical, habitual nature. And so unless I can create sometimes some sort of pattern disruption, then I'll keep doing the same things in the way that I've always done them, even though the exterior may change. Okay, welcome everyone. Hi everyone at home. Happy full moon. Good to be here with you. Yeah, let's jump right in. Anyone's trying Kundalini Yoga first time ever? Cool. And I'm sure there are some folks at home as well. Anyways, either way, we'll meet you where you're at. Anything, just take care of yourselves. There's no reason to overdo anything. It doesn't make it work better. Relax into it as best as you can. Anytime you need to modify. Anytime you want to just relax out of it, lay down, you're most welcome to. Regardless of, maybe I'll be saying the opposite sometimes. You take care of yourself, okay? Sound good? Deal? Let's go. Just take your hands like this. Just very easy. Like rotating around the pelvis. Stirring the bowl of the pelvis with the spoon of the spine. I heard somebody say that once. I thought, well, the description's not going to get any better than that. And the other direction. Inhale to the center. Exhale. That's very nice. And come sitting just with your hands on your ankles or shins, and then just like yeah, it's real easy. It doesn't have to be a forced thing. It's something you can totally ease into it. You don't need to be doing it with the same energy necessarily of the person sitting near you. It's just an inhale, it's a lifting of your heart. Exhaling. As the chest lifts, by heart is sternum. But it's gentle. through the nose. As inhaling as it lifts. As the chest lifts, it's like the sit bones are pressing down into the earth. So then you get that kind of elevated extension of the spine, lifting of your heart center. Now inhale to the center D. And just close your eyes. And then lift the pelvic floor, the rectum, perineum, sex organ. And then draw the navel, your abdomen, underneath your belly button, up and in. And relax, exhale. That's simple, no? Hands are like this. Chest lifted, fingers are in the front, thumbs are in the back. I will put a little engagement of the pelvic floor. Gives a solid foundation. Then you can feel like you can kind of move with freedom up here. And let it swing. Inhale left, exhale right. Yeah, but the breath isn't so loud. Give it some rhythm, but soften it up. Into the center, inhale. Suspend the breath and again lift the mulaband, pelvic floor, navel, up and in. Exhale. Yeah, nice. Hands on the knees. This is an inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze them up. Exhale, release. That's amazing. All right, legs are out like a V shape. Yep. Be right on your sit bones, okay? That's the most important starting point. Forget the stretch part until you're up on your sit bones. You might, like me, use a little cushion. Flex the feet, but then the groin area relaxes. Inhale here, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. But you notice you lead with the abdomen and then you follow with your heart. The head is not coming down to the knees. And the fingers aren't overly concerned about touching your toes. Instead, make an inhalation. And every time you come lift, fill your lungs. Put your breath into your bloodstream and oxygenate your blood. The body will open up and you can deepen your stretch easily with time. The only way I find is kind of create friction in this endeavor is to push too hard against its edges. So it's like, do it, be present with it, and yet resist the urge to rush it. And that's beautiful. Now keep going. That feels good, no? Inhale, center, and just open up a little more and continue. What mostly makes me happy is when I can feel like a nice, deep groove to the breath rhythm. And the depth of the breath doesn't come from being aggressive with it or trying to make it so powerful. But if you can soften it but then create a depth of rhythm, it will open up and it will gain a great power, but that power will also have the softness that keeps it from being inflammatory. You know what I mean? That's nice. Inhale to the center and then hinge forward a little bit. Good. Shake your legs out. Nice. Good. Life nerve. Feeling good. Come sitting and then cross-legged. The breath here is real simple. Have a little bit of water. I don't like that I can't see the folks at home. I miss them because we just finished like our first week of teacher training last week, and it was so cool because we had like, you know how usually when you're on Zoom, nobody wants their camera on and it gets like a total drag in there, and then sometimes you'll show up and it's just like you and one other person. But then I started to get real negative about like some of that part of the online way that we connect together. But then we did this whole course last week where we had people, this room was full, but then we had people all over the world. And it was just like, works so well. And I was like, remember, as much stress as the modern day is causing us and the amount of pressure that we're all under in the way that everything is so tremendously connected together. You know, everybody is looking, we're all scrolling on the social medias and we're sharing and we're seeing everything that's happening. And even though like just this week, in the last couple of weeks, so many people have passed away. Isn't that interesting that you hit these waves where there's a lot of souls leaving the body and people we love? And then there's tragedies all over the world that we're exposed to for the first time in our known history, that we've all been exposed to so much suffering from so quickly in so many places. But if that's true, then it's also true that we've never been exposed to so much goodness and so much possibility of happiness and possibility of a type of connectivity that uplifts us all. You know, so we do get to choose, I think, but to have the ability to choose is what, to me, yoga is all about. Because otherwise my mind tends to choose for me. And what that means is my habits of yesterday are overpowering my better intents for today. Making sense? Because that's how the mind works. It's a cyclical, habitual nature. And so unless I can create sometimes some sort of pattern disruption, then I'll keep doing the same things in the way that I've always done them, even though the exterior may change. Isn't that true? That's why we sometimes will leave this job, then go to the next job, and leave this job and go to the next job, and there's like something about them that's all the same. Well, the common denominator in each of those situations is who? And the same with relationships, isn't it? That's the tough one, because then you this relationship, then this relationship, then this, and there's certain patterns inside of that do seem to remain the same, don't they? No matter what is the relationship, because that's us. And so that is initially can be a bit of a drag, because it's hard sometimes to see the ways in which we're causing ourselves suffering. And let's depersonalize it more. Sometimes it's difficult to see how our mind is creating the patterns of our mind. Our mind that we have to live with every day, all the time, is inflicting suffering, not only ourselves, but also sometimes on others. Even though it's not our intention, sometimes we do. And that's hard to sit with. It's vulnerable, but it's where growth comes from, and it's where blossoming comes from. It's how we become happier. And then over time, it's not so hard to do that anymore, as much. At least I find it takes the edge off a little, because you have the experience over and over that the more you kind of reel with yourself, the more it ended up making you happy. And so more willingness to do that and be receptive. It's difficult sometimes. Yeah, but that's why yoga I love, because it kind of helps me bypass all my own narratives and dramas and get to the heart of the matter, whatever that may be. That's mysterious always to me, but I can always feel it at the moment. That's why I always feel that intuition is not about the future. Intuition is being able to be present. Intuition gives you the wisdom for the moment that is now. But now is always fleeting, isn't it? So somehow, how do you create the power of now, so to speak, is to create a type of magnetism that your psyche is relaxed enough to stay present with life. You know, and then it goes into the future and it goes into the past. That's what the mind does. But if there's a strength at the center of things, that's not going into the future too much will cause anxiety. Going into the past too much can cause depression. This is very generally speaking. Of course, the human psyche is far more complex than all of that. But at some basic level, it's working with the physics of life. And that's what yoga is: simple. Earth, water, fire, air, space. There's a future, there's a past. There's polarities of life. Can I center the prana in the nervous system so the psyche can rest in its neutrality, its intuitive nature, its meditative field? That's human stuff. To have nothing to do with anyone's particular religion or belief system. So we all have that mind, that psychic field of that has magnetic energy. That's why it's positive and negative. As things are good and bad. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. The moon gets full, the moon gets dark. It's the simple physics of life. Go into the center of things like that. So try the breath like this. At first, hold on. At first, it's like a pant. Lift up your chest and drop the shoulders and make it soft, just like a dog gently panting in the summer heat. That panting will cool you. Now keep going. Through the nose. Bit light. Heart lifted, shoulders release. Sit bones grounded. Chin slightly in. Inhale. Through the nose, exhale. Again, inhale. The exhale and the inhale are equal strength. The exhale is not harder than the inhale. Inhale. Suspend the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Suspend the breath. Lift the mulaband, root lock, rectum, sex organ, and navel. Up and in. Lift the chest, tuck the chin, elongate the spine, close the eyes. Third eye goes the gaze. And through your nose, exhale. Push all the breath out. Now inhale. Exhale. Amazing. Come onto your backs. Yeah, full moon things can go either way, can't they? You know, in Vedic astrology, when they're choosing, like, what's the best day to do something on, you're usually not choosing, like, the full moon at its peak, because things are pretty edgy during that time. Just in the same, they usually don't choose the dark moon because there's not much energy in that level at that time. The lunar energy is down. But in all cases, it's always good for something. When the moon is dark, it draws our energy inwardly. That's very helpful if drawing one's energy inwardly has become a priority for you. And just the same, when the moon is at its peak maximum, well, then it becomes very advantageous to do something like this. Take your legs together. To direct your energy, and not to be directed by the energy, as it sometimes can overtake us in difficult directions. Inhale, fill the belly. Fully exhale. Now, if this strains your low back, hands under your butt and fists. Yeah, and Nima can show that. Otherwise, arms by the side. Chest lifted, shoulders relief, pelvic floor will be in. Take a deep inhale. Fully exhale. Come into this stretch pose. And breath of fire. Eyes on the toes. Give it a try. Put the navel into the rhythm. Lift the pelvic floor, lift the chest, release the shoulders, point through the toes. Hold the position, inhale. Pelvic floor lifted. Now navel deep in. Deep in navel, please. Deep in. Relax. The knees into the chest. And inhale, bring the nose up to the knees, towards the knees. Exhale, release the shoulder blades down. Inhale, squeeze up. And then could you keep going just a little more? With an especially great rhythm. You know, last moment, give it something. There it is, inhale. Squeeze up tight. Relax. And then hug the knees into the chest again. Rock a few times. Yep, come up. And this one, where your arms come up at 60 degrees and the thumbs are out and the pads of your fingertips connect to the pads of your palms. Yeah, like this. You can try to release your shoulder blades and elongate through the arms. There's really no bend in your elbow. And the eyes close down. Where the root of your nose meets your skull bone, there comes the gaze. See if you can relax your optic energy in that area. That's called relaxing the gaze into the third eye. The special natural skill of drawing the psyche into its intuitive feel, its intuitive space. The head and the heart stay well connected. And we can very easily be ourselves. Know what we're all about. And smile from that place. And then that smile is somebody else can feel it. Genuine smile, you know, pass it on. I forgot to start the clock on this one, so I'll just start it now. Elongate through the arms. Try no bend of your elbows. I know this is on a certain way inconvenient, and yet if you keep going and elevate, you know, you can tap your deeper reservoir of vitality and build the inner strength. Use the prana. Circulate the chi. Open the heart center. Gaze of the third eye. Shoulder blades release. Arms elongated. Magnetic field balancing, which gives it strength. Mind comes into neutralization, intuition, meditative space. But the rhythm. Thumb tips come touching, mind is relaxed, fingers stretch wide like tight. Inhale some more, lift the pelvic floor, draw your navel in, touch the ceiling, release the shoulder blades. Touch the ceiling, space in the spine, inhale some more. Stretch and release. And just close your eyes. Let the breath flow. Listening. 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 Nice. And now, have some water. This full moon taking place in Shravana Nakshatra. Shravana is a center part of Capricorn. So in Vedic astrology, which follows the sidereal zodiac, which is what you see if you're looking at the sky, actually. So if you have like the Stargaze app and you want to go see like what constellation is the moon in tonight, you just point the phone at the moon and it'll show you it's in Capricorn, not Aquarius. However, that doesn't mean that those who follow the tropical zodiac, which is most people in the Western world, it doesn't mean that those interpretations aren't also correct. They are, somehow, definitely. I'm more interested in the intuition of the person who is using the system than what the system is itself. You know, how well aligned can the person become with whatever it is that they're using. So that's very interesting and it's insightful. And if you know like a great Vedic astrologer that you've had experiences with, and then you also know a great Western astrologer that you've had experiences with, you learn that, oh yeah, it works in both ways. Interesting. And that tells us kind of interesting things about life. Things aren't black and white like that. How could it work? You know, it's turning the prism, looking at things from a different side of the lens, different side of the prism. So anyhow, Shravana Nakshatra, Shravana means the ear. Shravana is like Sunya. Guru Nanak used the phrase in his Japji for several stanzas, like the 9th through the 12th stanza, Sunya Siddha Pir Suranat. Sunya is listening. It's not just the ordinary listening. I'm sure Sunya, Shravana is multifaceted, of course. People who are born, for instance, like right now, if they're born, babies being born with the moon and Shravana, they'll definitely have something with listening. They tend to be people who really appreciate music. And therefore, I tend to like Shravana people. You know, or someone's ascendant can be in that part of the sky. Of course, it's more than that. That's not the only way to like music. There's so many ways. But just for instance, Shravana has the Shakti to connect things together. And so things that may seem kind of disconnected, say like we're already doing Western astrology and Vedic astrology, 24 degrees difference approximately between where you interpret where the moon is tonight. That's why on your Instagram, mostly, if you're in this part of the world, is saying full moon in Aquarius. That's why I just keep it simple and say full moon in Shravana, because that's true. Because it's more, in a certain way, it's the nakshatras are the lunar zodiac, and so it's lunar oriented, whereas the 12 signs are solar oriented. And so it's a feminine lunar zodiac, and so the moon is in a different place every night in the sky, and that creates the different nakshatras. And so when the moon is in Shravana, you get the mythology and the archetypes associated with it that come alive, for instance. And so part of it is the ear and listening and connecting things together, but it's every lunar mansion has a deity that rules it, of course. And for Shravana is Vishnu. And if you're not familiar with these, you can just simply think of them as they're mythological ideas that give you insights into the nature of things. It's simple. And so Vishnu is that which holds the whole entire universe together. And it's the sustaining energy of life. And it's taken many forms in many ways. Krishna is the avatar of Vishnu, expression of Vishnu. But one of the mythologies and one of the ways to kind of tune into the full moon that's happening is you think about or read or listen to the stories associated with that nakshatra. And one of them for Shravana is the story of Vamana, the dwarf incarnation of Vishnu. Already it sounds cool, right? It happened at a time when Mahabali, the king of the king of the demons, so to speak, had taken over the heavens. Out of the three worlds, there is the earth, there is the underworld, and then there's the heavens. And Mahabali had taken over the heavens, and he's not supposed to be there. He's supposed to be in the underworld. That's how it works. The gods are in the heavens, the asuras are in the underworld, and the humans are on the earth. And so, anyhow, Aditi, who is the mother of the gods, was very stressed out because all her children had been cast down to the underworld, and everything is backwards. Everything is not right. And so she prayed to Vishnu. She prayed to Vishnu for this to be fixed. And the way she prayed, Aditi is the mother of the gods. She rules part of the constellation of Cancer. So Aditi is the mother of the gods, and so this has to do with like the mother's prayer. And they say that the most powerful thing in the world is the mother's prayer. And so Vishnu felt her prayers and was very pleased and gave her a son. And she birthed a son named Vamana. And he was an incarnation of Vishnu himself. And he was this little dwarf character. And so anyhow, up in the heavens, Mahabali's up there performing a horse sacrifice, something he would do, a horse sacrifice. And so all this symbolism is so intricate, you can really, really study these myths, but this is just keeping it very simple. And so everybody's at the horse sacrifice having a great time. They're up in the heavens, they're sacrificing horses. I'm sure alcohol is involved. And all of a sudden, this little dwarf character comes in. And let me see if I can remember. He's holding an umbrella. It's a little dwarf guy holding an umbrella, holding a rod, and a pot. Okay? You can visualize him coming in, and everybody's like, think if you're at the party, and this little guy comes in holding an umbrella and a rod and a pot. So anyways, there's something peculiar about him, in other words. And everybody's kind of noticing there's something peculiar. And it gets Mahabali's attention, and Mahabali says, essentially, he tells him, he's intrigued by him, and there's kind of like chatter going around. Because not Vishnu, but Venus, Shukra in this story is the guru of the asuras. And so this is like Mahabali's teacher. And Shukra is Venus. This is a good story for tonight. Venus is very strong, very, very strong right now because it's in retrograde. And not only is it in retrograde, but it's retrograding. It already went through the Cancer Leo Gandanta point in water into fire sign. Those are called karmic knots. So then things that are associated with Venus go through transformation in our life. Relationships, pleasure, experiencing love or not, etc., etc. Transformation takes place. And it goes through that once, every however fast Venus moves. It's every year and a half or so, I don't remember. But this is a little bit of a doozy because Venus already crossed the Gandanta point not too long ago, a couple weeks ago or so. Now she's retrograding, and she's going to go back past that karmic knot, Gandanta point. And then, of course, she's going to go back into forward motion and go back past it again. So this retrograde's extra special because you get not one, not two, but 3 Gandanta crossings of Venus. And people don't really like that. But if you're a yogi, you can turn these into advantageous things. If not, then you're just dependent on Venus going well in my life. I mean yogi in the biggest sense of the word. That means you take hold of your energy and determine how it's going to work. But you can't actually do that unless you're humbled enough to get in alignment with life. Otherwise, it's just ego, isn't it? To say, that life will humble me very quickly if whenever I have tried that, which has been many times. I try not to, but sometimes I still do. And then you get smacked usually by some life circumstances that shows, once again, how you create suffering for yourself and others. So anyways, that was a tangent from the story, but Venus was there. Venus was there. And Venus was whispering in Mahabali's ears like, I don't think that's a regular person, about Vamana. And even he had the inclination, or Venus had the inclination, that this is Vishnu. There's something so charismatic. There's something so electric about this little dwarf guy. But anyways, the whole thing about asuras, they're not demons in the way that we think of demons so much in the West. They represent, the devas represent more of our altruistic ways, and the asuras represent more of our selfish ways. Make sense? The devas represent more of our creativity patterns, and asuras represent more of our destructive patterns. So, Mahabali is like, Venus is saying, don't trust this guy. Mahabali wants to test it, of course. So he looks down at little Vamana, and Mahabali is this great big king, and tells him to make a wish. He tells Vamana to make a wish. And Vamana is touched and just makes the simplest little request and says, and Shukra is saying to Mahabali, I wouldn't do that. And Vamana just requests that all he take is, with his little footsteps, the length of 3 paces of the heavens, just of 3 footsteps, 3 paces. Would you please just grant me that? And Mahabali kind of laughs at the idea of this insignificant request. And Shukra's like, I wouldn't do that. And of course, he does it anyways. And as soon as he makes the wish, and Vamana takes the first steps, he starts to grow. He starts to turn into Vishnu. And as he's growing, you can see all sorts of galaxies inside of him, and all sorts of life and everything else. And he grows so it's massively, inconceivably huge, and takes the first step and covers the entire earth. And on the second step, he covers both the underworld and the heavens. And then he says, Mahabali, I've taken 2 steps, and I've already covered all the 3 worlds. Therefore, my wish that you granted, you cannot fulfill. And therefore, you should be cast back down to the underworld. Mahabali, understanding that he had been, in a certain way, defeated. But also, see, these are not demons. They're actually high consciousness beings as well in these myths. So knowing the truth of the matter, Mahabali bowed his head. This is a true victory and defeat, when it's very clear. Mahabali bowed his head, and Vishnu, Vamana as Vishnu, takes his 3rd step and steps on Mahabali's head and sends him back down into the underworld, and then brings Indra, the king of the gods, up to the heavens and reinstalls him on the throne. And so the Shravana Nakshatra's main symbol is 3 footsteps, is the main symbol of Shravana Nakshatra. So it has to do with restoring the devas in the heavens and bringing the asuras back down into the underworld. That's what the myth, and so in a Shravana energy, say a person born with a strong Shravana energy, that mythology will often play out in their lives, or there'll be important times in life where you have to kind of cast the demons back down into the underworld and restore the devas of your life back into the heavens. You got to get right. You got to put yourself on the right path. But in general, and the full moon is happening with Shravana, that myth is alive for everyone in a certain way, or can be alive for everyone. And who doesn't want to reinstall the devas into the heavens? In other words, bring joy back into life, bring prosperity back into life, bring most importantly, dharma, purposefulness, meaningfulness, the great heroic path of your life. Make sure we're right on that one. Because sometimes you kind of like, oh, there's a little trail that went off the side. Let's go check that one out down there. Have you done that at like the river? But there's always still the main path. Yeah, that was fun down there. But back. Okay, cool. Come on the hands and knees. And inhale, the head is up. Exhale, the head is down. Okay, inhale, head up. Exhale, head down. Come sitting easy pose, cross-legged. And take your pinky and ring finger held down by your thumb. Pinky and ring fingers held down by your thumb. Jupiter, Saturn finger, index, middle, straight up. And it goes something like this. It's a few quick inhalations through an O-shaped mouth, like this. And one exhale through the O-shaped mouth. But check it. The whole force of the movement is towards you. The mouth will need to be puckered like that. It's strong, but do it in a steady and calm fashion. In other words, try to keep the mind relaxed as you engage the exercise. It helps if your pelvic floor is lifted and your heart is lifted and the shoulder blades are released, the chin is slightly in, and you take the position of some type of warrior, some type of like a great warrior whose calm center is so powerful that even the greatest stresses do not stress them. Because whatever life brings, whatever the universe delivers, has wisdom in it. Just another 60 seconds of this. It creates like a jerking motion. It kind of shakes the system a little bit. Shake the system for the last minute. "15 seconds. Through the mouth, inhale. Keep the breath in and shake the movement as quickly as possible, as fast as possible. And then like a cannon through the mouth, exhale. Inhale. Mulaban lift. Now shake it. Just do the movement as quick, the whole spine will shake. Adjustments. Exhale. Perfecto. One more inhale. Keep it in. Lift the pelvic floor. Move it. Last one. Move it. Exhale. Relax. Bravo. Okay, come stand in. Index finger to your thumb, and then your eyes are open, and just pick any point in front of you. So inhale, lift, exhale, release. No, sit, no, sit, no, sit. No, sit, no, sit, no, sit, no, sit, no, sit. Wait, I thought everybody had been hiking down to the river every day. He's not looking like river legs. Deeper the breath. Try to get the knees to hip level. It's perfect. No, sit. No, sit, no, no. Through the nose. Almost. Respiration, oxygenation, chi, prana. Stretch up, and release. Bravo. And come stretch your legs wide. Legs are strong. Numb. Sit. Numb. And every inhalation, you lift through the pelvic floor, you lift through the core, you draw your navel in, you build your inner vitality by working deep inside the organism, not staying at its surface. Deeper into the core, every inhalation. Fill the lungs. Numb. beautiful. Almost there. This full moon sequence we're doing tonight is a journey, and anyone can do it. Inhale out, and then relax. Bravo. Shake your legs out. Have a little bit of water. Feeling good in our bodies. Happy to be on the earth. Don't you think? Isn't it great? And one day it's gonna end. Come sitting. I'm just playing. I'm not just playing, but you know. It's true. Sorry. It's just the physics of things. That's all right though, because when you just remember that, it always keeps what's truly important in perspective. And when you can be joyful, even though you have remembrance that the material part of life is impermanent. It's the material part of life, but we're not just material. What we are is inconceivable. And so that is where the love affair, the courtship begins, is to me recognizing the inconceivable nature of life and of soul and spirit and what we all are. The great mystery. And Guru Nanak Vismad is just wonderful. You just wonder. It's just a wondering. It's not a knowing. It's a wondering about things. It's a being curious about things. It's beautiful. Beautiful. If you're curious about, anyone read Valerie Kaur's such fantastic book called, what's it called? See No Stranger. Yeah. What a excellent book. I recommend it. See No Stranger. And she said, when you wonder about somebody else, then you can't simultaneously wonder about them and hate them. You can't simultaneously wonder about that's what happens in our relationships. We're so convinced of how the other person is sometimes that we stop wondering about them, and then we get bored or we get angry or we get this or we get that. So that's a great, I think, little gem is wonder. Wonder as a lifestyle. Wonder as a practice, and wonder as a kind of a living experience, as a disposition, to be into the mystery of it all. All right, a little bit more. Hands, fingertips of your left hand come to the base of the fingers of the right hand. So it looks like a prayer mudra a little bit, but left hand is lower. Fingertips of your left hand to the base of the fingers of the right hand. Left thumb wraps around the back of the right hand. Right thumb wraps around the back fingers of the left hand. Make sense? Everybody got it? Anybody not got it? All right, everybody at home got it? Got it. Okay, chest lifted, shoulder blades release, and the fingertips are about the height of the brow. Your chest lifted, shoulder blades release. You find your sweet spot of being lifted and also being soft. Close the eyes, soften the chest. Your mouth rounds into an O shape. And through the O shape, softly through the lips, exhale and inhale of equal strength like a... It's so easy, you can do it all day. Chest lifted up, shoulder blades release, eyes close, and see if you can just be present. How do you be present in a yoga practice? You know what the dristi is. You know the point of focus. The point of focus is the breath. Listening to it. Feeling it. You can listen with a feel. You can listen with a sound. You can listen with a vision. Listen. Rhythm. Chest out, shoulder blades release, soften the gaze. If you go soft, you'll be able to go through the time. And if you go rhythm, it'll get deep. Because then the nadis open. You know, like when you're in rhythm, you're dancing. Or you had the experience of playing some percussion and you really got into a rhythm. You're enjoying that. Make the breath the percussion. But listen to its sound. It's like the breath is the mantra. The sound of the breath is the mantra. Listen to it. Mind to go every which way. Put it into focus. At first, you must command the mind into focus until it cooperates. Then it cooperates. It becomes a force of creativity and intuitive power. When it's allowed to just go any which way, indulging all the different narratives of our life which have no lasting value, is to hit the rhythm and go into the center of things. And there we do find lasting value. The part of us that brings light come from the eyes. Gives us intelligence and that's the feeling of love that we have. When a baby is born, we feel love. When a beloved passes away, we feel love. Love is at both the beginning and the end. And in that simple way, it reigns over all things. So if I can center the life force prana in my nervous system, the central channel, central nervous system, the mind will naturally relax and open up. The chi is flowing through the nadis, and it's easy to be me. It's easy to be you. And we shine from there. Our confidence lifts up. Our creativity is inspired. almost there. Concentrate for the last little bit. Shoulder blades release, chest held high. Through the mouth, inhale. Press the mudra together, lift the pelvic floor, mula bone, rectum, sex organ, navel. Now squeeze the spine tight. Squeeze it, and like a cannon exhale. Inhale deep. And press the hands into the position. Lift the mula bone. Squeeze now the spine. Press the hands with full force. Squeeze deeply the spine. Exhale. Now this time inhale. Turn to your left like that. Turn to your right. Center. Inhale some more. Squeeze it. Exhale. And relax into meditative space. Let the breath just flow. Let the body just be peaceful. Just how things are. And in that lovely space, come on, relax please to your backs. exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Move your fingers, please. And rotate the wrists and rotate the ankles. Move the fingers and move the toes. And rub the palms. Make some friction. Rub the soles of your feet. And cat stretch to each side. And then you can hug your knees to the chest, rock and roll a couple of times, and come up for this meditation. This is a meditation for reinstating the devas to the heavens. You take your hands interlaced, thumb tips are touching. It's a bit of a challenging meditation, but it's fantastic. Give it a try and see. Because what you try to do is your pelvic floor lifted and shoulder blades released. So if you have a little strength at your core, if you work with your core, it's easy to do. If not, it's something you develop over time. So just hold the arms up in this nice arch over the head where the palms are facing down, and in between the crown of the head, the top part of the magnetic pole, and your hands, there's a feeling there. Close your eyes and begin to breathe long and deep. Your focal point is the long, deep breath through the nose, trying to finish every exhalation and trying to deepen every inhalation. Because after a few minutes, you may find yourself really relying on your breath. So start to work with it, and it will help carry you. But this opens up the field of awareness from the heart up to the top of the head and above the head. Because it's our wisdom intelligence, which is our helpful guides, our helpful guidance, where we tap into our inspiration. We have the clarity of life. We can feel via our sensitivity, our interwovenness with every other living thing. And it puts like this a certain type of crowning that is taking place. When one begins to blossom into their real nature, a regal quality emerges, absolutely. Breathe long, slow, and deep. Shoulder blades release down, chest forward, chin slightly in. Be lifted and then soften into it. Regardless of what happens, continue the breath. And now, with the eyes closed down, draw the optic gaze in an upward fashion as if you were looking towards the crown of your head. It's not tense. Just see if you can relax the gaze up in that direction. And when your mind sways away from the breath focus and the crown of the head focus, those are your two anchor points, constantly coming back as needed. The deeper the breath, the more it will be helpful. It's perfect. Stay steady. Breathe. Sometimes it'll even feel to me like the breath is traveling up to the crown of the head, the soft spot of the baby. And that's the prana. Where your attention goes, the prana flows. the head. 30 seconds. Suspend the breath in. Lift the rectum, sex organ, navel. Suspend the breath. Crown of the head. Hold the position through your nose. Exhale.
What did you think I did?
Inhale. Lift the pelvic floor. Hold the position. Exhale. And final time. Relax. And just relax for a moment. And just, if you would, keep your eyes down for just another moment. Let the breath be natural. And the mind be spacious. And take your hands in the prayer pose. And give a good wish on this lovely, beautiful full moon. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for watching on YouTube. Best easy way to stay in touch with us. Hit the subscribe button here. You'll see our videos when they come up. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button. It'll help more people see it, help the channel grow. I appreciate you watching.